Established since 1901, the Department of Public Affairs and Religious Liberty promotes religious freedom around the world and assists members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church who are discriminated against or persecuted for practicing their beliefs. If you have ever wondered how public affairs and religious liberty works to position the church to a standing of credibility, visibility, trust, and relevance in the public realm, then let's start by defining religious freedom as you learn more about its vital mission.
Religious freedom, or sometimes called in the international community freedom of religion or belief, is part of a cluster of values that the international community has identified as necessary for human flourishing, for peaceful coexistence, and also for societal prosperity. Religious freedom has its root in God.
It is about freedom of conscience. It is about that God-given freedom given to us from creation where we have choices. And so God, through Jesus Christ, created us as free human beings. And we are free to do what we want, and no one, no government, no organization should restrict this freedom. Our motto is educate, educate, educate. And we believe that in educating our members, they themselves can take the right approach to religious freedom by not only believing that they are the only ones who should have that right, but others around them, others of other religion, they are due their right and freedom to worship whomever they want to and whenever they want to do it. And so this education makes us, should make us a better Christian in not offending others as we defend our right. It's not just about us, it is the right, defending the right of members, defending the rights of people of other religions, because we all have our individual right. And as I said before, it was given to us by God. I had to step in once for a particular religious liberty situation. Normally, the process is that from a union standpoint, if a member's right is infringed, that member relates to his or her pastor, elder, religious liberty person in the church. That pastor, religious liberty person, basically approach the organization in a very amicable way, loving way, Christ-like way, because we believe in diplomacy, we believe in negotiation. The first move to that organization should not be in writing because it might become offensive. So we ask that a communication take place, a verbal communication takes place. After that communication, if there are still challenges, then the matter can be referred to the conference religious liberty director. The religious liberty director at the conference may consult with the union director, who gives guidance as to the approach to be taken as it relates to that particular situation. So in this particular situation, a mother, a worker of the church, called me one morning, it was a Monday morning, to say that her son was fired from his job because he did not go to work, but he went to church on the Sabbath.
It was the summer of 2019 and I was looking for a work program, but my mom told me about the NYS program and they gave me a couple papers to sign up and give them back. They asked us to there's like 3 places that we would want to work at, and they had a list, so we had to choose and see if there was enough space for the jobs. I picked one, I got through. On the Monday, I didn't get to go because they didn't call me at the time to go. On the Tuesday, I got to go, but the manager, he was telling me that I would have to be working on a Saturday, but I know that I couldn't be working on a Saturday, and we got, from the 6 days, we get 1 day break or day off, and I know that for the youth service, we would have to be working for 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and for the job that I had to be going to there, it was from 9 to maybe 6, 7 o'clock, and I would do it, but on the Friday I would have to leave early, and on the Saturday I didn't go, I went to church. Because I didn't come on Saturday, I wasn't able to work there.
I thought for a while to refer it to the conference, who would then relate it to the church as our procedure says. But somehow the situation just seemed very serious to me and immediate, and so I decided to take it on myself. We went, first of all, myself and his mother, to the National Youth Service because we had to get information on what are the requirements that this job entail. In writing, we saw all the necessary, Monday to Friday, etc. So we immediately went to this store, a very popular department store in Jamaica. We went and asked for the manager. He identified himself, and we asked that we speak to him in his office. We were welcome. We presented the scenario to him. He was adamant that the young man should be working on the Saturday because he did not come to work the Monday. He started on Tuesday. I pointed out to him that the job requirement was for Monday to Friday. He then changed the subject to say, well, their work time is Monday to Saturday. But I said, but you know, he should not be fired because it is outside of the realm or requirement or his job description. After feeling offended, the manager, because I went with the young man's mother, he then said to me, what do you want me to do? And hearing that was my joy. And I responded, do what is necessary, the right thing, rehire him. And he said, okay, send him back to work. It gave me joy because I know, just as how the angels in heaven rejoice when one soul is baptized or give himself or herself to Christ, I know heaven was rejoicing that day because one job was returned because we stood up for religious freedom. I used the opportunity also to explain to him that it is in the Constitution that each person has a right or their right to their freedom of religion and the day they have for worship. So the opportunity gave me a chance to educate him that this Constitution must be upheld. And many companies in Jamaica are still offending our members. We still have situations where persons are not given the right to worship on their day that is selected or by their choice. And we even have had a situation where they have done redundancies to remove the position so as to get rid of that worker. At times, the worker and the Seventh-day Adventists can't be bothered because right here at the union level, our job is, and as I explained before, when it comes to the union level, it is when we are deciding to take it to court. It is for litigation purposes. But in this scenario that I just mentioned, I decided to just go ahead and proceed with it. My request to each member who is watching, I'm saying to you, be the best worker that there is in any organization, that they would not want to lose you. Be that good worker, be that example for Christ, be that Seventh-day Adventist worker that even the boss would want to know the Jesus Christ that you serve. Stand up for him. If you stand up for him, he will stand up for you. He will defend you. No need to be fearful. Fear is of the devil. He wants you to be afraid. He wants you to give up. He's right. Which leads me and reminds me of a scenario too that happened where I was called by a conference director to say that a worker was suspended because he did not come to work on the Sabbath. And I said to the director, go to the company and get their side of the story before we approach this company in any strident, possible offensive way. When he called me back, he said to me, Nigel, it's a good thing you asked me to call them. Because guess what? This worker was playing hopscotch with the job. So the employer said to him, you know, we could have fired him. What he does, he comes to work this Saturday. The following Saturday, he calls in sick. The next Sabbath, he turns up at work. And we know that this is what he was doing. A suspension was just our first step in letting him understand that he needs to take one side. Either he goes to church or he comes to work. And so a lot of times, you, our members, you become weary of this kind of thing. You can't be bothered. And sometimes you bow to the pressure and go to work on a Saturday. God is not happy with that. He wants you to stand up for him. And I'm appealing for you to stand up for him, because he'll never leave you or forsake you. He might have a better job for you, but if you don't show that you understand what is required of you as a Seventh-day Adventist and stand up for that right, that freedom that God gave you, then you're going to bow to pressure and God will not be pleased with you.
I'm happy to be a Seventh-day Adventist, and there's nothing that can deter me from my beliefs.
As religious freedom promoters in a world of controversies, conflicts, violence, and wars, freedom is always at risk. But if we unite and allow the Holy Spirit to lead, we can keep the message of freedom and religious liberty alive. I believe in religious liberty for all. Do you?